All right, guys, I'm coming in hot this morning. I had to get my Air Force Ones on for this question, okay? Get ready to hold the phone because I'm about to bring it. So I get the question all the time, or the comment. Kelsey, you keep telling everybody to go find a less toxic job or a less stressful job, and you refer a lot to leaving the bedside. If nurses all leave the bedside, then who's going to be left to take care of the patients? Someone has to take care of them. So you know what my answer is to that question? Maybe you should go ask your hospital that question. Who's going to take care of the patients if all the nurses leave the bedside? That is a fantastic question for your CEOs, for your CNOs, for your COOs, for all of the people who are bringing in the Benjamins for your hospital, because you continue to fill in the gaps because someone's got to take care of the patients, and you compromise your health and well-being and your mental health and your life, your everything, because you don't want to see the patient suffer. So my answer to that question is go ask your higher ups what's going to happen who's going to take care of the patients when all the nurses leave the bedside, because that is a fantastic question, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is if all the nurses leave the bedside, there's not going to be nurses to take care of the patients. There's not going to be income to be made because there's going to be poor outcomes. Nobody's going to be showing up to take care of these patients, and therefore surgeries and all of the money-making stuff for the hospital aren't going to be able to happen, because when there aren't nurses to recover and take care of those patients, there's going to be poor outcomes, and hospitals can't operate with poor outcomes. So you know what's going to happen when all the nurses leave the bedside? People are going to suffer. Patients are going to suffer, but the hospitals are going to suffer too. The business side of the hospital is going to suffer too. And it's not until the business side of the hospital suffers that the nursing side and the nursing culture and the nursing appreciation and the nursing value is going to change. Okay, guys? This is why I preach boundaries. I don't want to see patients suffer. I don't want to see anybody suffer. But the reality of the situation is the only people and person that is going to suffer in this equation currently in the state of nursing and healthcare right now are the nurses, because we are the ones who feel it is our duty to serve. We are the ones who somehow have passed on this toxic mindset that exhaustion is a badge of honor. I got a newsflash, it's not. And until we start creating healthy boundaries, until we start saying, no, I'm not going to tolerate this toxic situation. I'm not going to tolerate absolutely feeling wiped and miserable and awful and unhealthy outside of my days that I work. I'm not going to be manipulated. I'm not going to be underappreciated. I'm not going to be undervalued. I'm not going to be not listened to, until we start creating boundaries and start saying, this is what's healthy and right for us. This is what I need to continue this relationship with this hospital. These are healthy boundaries, guys. Boundaries are not in place to punish a hospital. They are in place to keep the relationship going in a healthy and beneficial way, a mutually beneficial way. Boundaries are not to punish your hospital. So if a hospital wants to respond and retaliate from you saying, no, I can't work extra. No, I can't stay late. No, I can't come in on my day off because I have to take care of myself. If they want to retaliate or penalize you for that, then you need to get the heck out, okay? And the reason why I speak a lot to the bedside being a toxic culture is because, I'll be honest with you guys, bedside is one of the hardest positions. And just a little brief explanation of that, in a clinic setting and in a different, more specialized role, you're gonna naturally be more valued because there's less of you. You're performing a role that often than not, someone else in the clinic doesn't know how to do, so you are of value. And you're working kind of one-to-one with doctors when you're in an outpatient and clinic setting. When you're in the hospital, you're working with anyone and everyone and their mom. You're a number. You're someone who's checking a box for that hospital to run, needing staffing, needing a body. It really doesn't matter. And that is a really sad reality, because nurses are the most valuable angels and people on the face of this planet. They're the reason people stay alive, okay? Point blank. Doctors can't function without nurses. It's just a fact of life, but yet we are not treated or respected in that way. So when people ask me, Kelsey, if everyone leaves the bedside and there are no nurses left to take care of the patients, or who's going to take care of the patients, Go ask your COOs, go ask your chief executive officers, go ask the people who are running your hospital, because that is a great question for them. Because as much as I would love to say that it is our duty to take care of patients and to be there for our patients, I'm going to let you know that it is your duty and it is your responsibility to take care of those patients safely and effectively on the days and the hours that you are scheduled to work. And if you cannot safely and effectively take care of those patients because you don't have enough staff, or you're working in a toxic environment, or you're working in a place where you're undervalued and underappreciated, and it's compromising your emotional and physical wellness, there is absolutely not a single reason you need to be staying in that role. So while I don't want to see anyone suffer, the reality of the situation is it's going to take a little bit of suffering and a little bit of uncomfortable changes and decisions for them to actually budge on their end, okay? This is the reality of the situation, all right? I love you guys. You guys know I am a fierce advocate of this profession, but this is something that I am so passionate about. And it is not until we start creating healthy boundaries and start making decisions that are healthy and right for us, that hospital or those higher ups or those people who are calling the shots, those shareholders and those corporations and all those people who are way up in the high, non-clinical setting aspect of nursing, but, raking in the Benjamins because of our busting our tails and being there and filling in the gaps for our patients. It is no longer okay. It has never been okay, but I am telling you guys right now, none of us want to see our team suffer. None of us want to see our patients suffer, but we as nurses will continue to suffer until we say, we're not tolerating this. This is not something I can do. And if it means leaving the bedside, I understand it feels like you're losing yourself. It feels like you're losing a bit of who you are as a nurse. It feels like you're not being a good nurse. That's not the truth. No matter where you go and use your license, you are an amazing nurse, and you are going to use your skill set that you learned at the bedside in an outpatient setting. And I also just want to speak to this, guys. If you choose to move inside of a hospital, there are units and institutions that are actually healthy, have internal healthy inpatient units, okay? There are units that you can go to that are going to have better managers and healthier environments where they're going to have better ratios. A lot of those specialized units are really great options within a hospital, okay? I'm not saying that all inpatient is toxic. I'm not. But I'm just saying that I see more toxicity prevalent in the inpatient setting than in the outpatient world. There's still toxicity and things in the outpatient world, but you're just going to be having just a different way of nursing in the outpatient setting. So anyway, to sum up, when the question is asked, Kelsey, who's going to take care of the nurses when everyone leaves the bedside? My answer to you is go ask your hospital that, because that is a great question for them. And I would love to know what happens when they do that, because I know 100% it is not my duty to save the day. It is not my duty to come in and sacrifice myself and my emotional and physical well-being to help their business run. I'm not doing it for the business. I'm doing it for the patients. But so long that I continue to fill in the gaps, they're never going to respect me. I am going to be burned to the bridge, and I'm going to be a patient very shortly, because I am not going to be able to survive in an environment like that. All right. I love you guys. Take care of yourself. You've got to show up whole for your families. You've got to show up whole for your life outside of the hospital. You are a human being. You matter. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It is not your duty to save the day and to sacrifice yourself. It is your responsibility to safely and effectively take care of the patients on the days that you are scheduled to work, and go take care of yourself outside on the days that you're not. I love ya. Mwah.